Doesn't seem to matter what I do.
'Cause I'm just kidding.
Good morning, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. As promised, I am Ken today. This was my Halloween costume. It's a little belated, just because I was worn out last week. But as promised, Ken in all of his glory here for you today. Which is weird because the topic I want to talk about is kind of serious. And that's kind of the importance of generosity, especially right now with everything going on in the country. It feels like there's been a breakdown of basic respect. And there's been a lot of viral videos about just with people just being really mean and for no reason. And a lot of this is just preventable. And that makes it harder for me to kind of stomach what's going on. I'm not a political channel, and we're not going to veer into politics today, but it does need to be spoken about. You know, you see people in the country partying and making very big displays of their wealth, especially right now. It just makes me a little bit sick to my stomach, especially going into Thanksgiving and Christmas and the holidays, a time where we're really supposed to be more focused on making sure everyone gets to eat and everyone's taken care of. And instead, we've got people showing off the tremendous luck they've had in their lives. Some just lucky to be born rich. Others, lucky to live in a society where the infrastructure is so good that they've been able to build off it and profit handsomely.
I found in my pocket, look, a year's salary right here. What I call them? Fun coupons. See that? A fun coupon.
And the big thing is, food stamps only costs each taxpayer, $20 to $30 a year. That it costs almost nothing to prevent what's going on right now, and that makes it a little harder to watch. And but the breakdown of basic respect and kindness and politeness for people has made it a lot easier for people to feel good about exercising the kind of cruelty that we're seeing. And I personally just feel really bad about it, and would like to see us as a country do a little better. And that's kind of why I wanted to talk about this today. Because at the end of the day, the people that you're seeing cheer for this, for food stamps being unpaid, and for people going hungry, those are your friends, your neighbors, your community, people that we should be rallying around, people that we should be taking care of. And it's a basic need in life. You can't go without food, you can't go without shelter, you can't go without those basics. And in a country with our kind of wealth, people really shouldn't. At least that's my view. And the way that I've chosen to approach it is this might sound weird and a little clinical or cold, but I like to think of taking a portion of each of my paycheck, because I budget out every pay period, and just having it go towards helping somebody out, almost like an investment or paying a bill. Now, I realize that wording can sound kind of cool. I don't mean it to. For me, it's just not planning on having that money makes it way easier to give. Not unlike putting it in your 401k or investments or a savings account or something like that. But most people who have some kind of fortune in this country can take at least a little bit of their budget and try to help people out. You can't save everybody, that's for sure, but you can pick one person and you can help them out. You can exercise basic kindness without putting yourself in harm's way, or the old adage is don't set yourself on fire to keep other people warm. And you don't have to. It doesn't take much to be able to give and to be able to try to lessen the suffering that's going on around you. And that's something that we should all value. And at least that's my opinion. But where this really hit home for me this week was that there's a friend of mine from roller derby who is a government worker, currently furloughed, not getting paid, with 2 kids, and suffered a house fire. So on top of not getting a paycheck, this person just lost their home and is having to coordinate all the logistics around that. and find a way to keep their kids safe and fed and housed in a really just a historically unprecedented tough time. I say unprecedented because while we have had government shutdowns before, this is the first time that SNAP has gone unpaid. And as we've seen, for 40 million Americans, that's a huge, huge crisis. And there's a GoFundMe for this person that I donated to, and I'll put a link to that in the show notes. But after a week, it's only a third funded. So I'm hoping to get a few more eyeballs on that for my friend. But I would venture a guess that most everybody watching this has people in their lives that need a helping hand right now. And I'm encouraging you to join me in doing that. Because, in this country, it can be any one of us. It can be, having an inopportune injury. It can be getting sick. And your entire life can change in an instant. And to watch it happening to so many people in a way that's entirely preventable, while certain very highly placed public figures are out partying. Again, it just makes me sick to my stomach. It also makes me reflect on my own history, because I've been, like a lot of Americans, I've had some luck. I was legally blind until the age of 4, wearing Coke bottle glasses, and my parents found a way to get me eye surgery so I could see. And I didn't need these again until my mid-30s, which is really nice, especially for someone whose dream it was to become a working artist. I never would have achieved that if not for the sacrifices my parents made to ensure that I could see. And then at age 9, my house burned down. I still remember my first bicycle going up in flames. It was a cool little white and green number, and I just had the training wheels taken off. So that was awful. But our neighborhood rallied around us. We stayed in different houses. The first night we stayed in was at a family with their last name was Beggs, and they didn't have a 10-bedroom house, but they still found a way to house my parents, me, and 9 of my siblings, which pretty considerable feat in the short term. But other families housed us in a short-term fashion, and then there's a college in the area named William Jewell College that housed us for a month in one of their campus houses. And then we lived in a duplex for the last 2 months of that summer while our house was being rebuilt. The thing I remember the most, second most behind my bike going up in flames, was walking into my elementary school that May and seeing 5 shopping carts of donations. There were clothing, toys, toiletries, medicine, anything you might think we would need. Just a ton of stuff. That obviously, as a kid, it was the toys that stuck out to me. But looking back, that's a pretty huge statement on how our community felt about taking care of their own. And we as a country can do that for the people that are suffering now and repudiate some of this callous, uncaring culture that's kind of crept in to our politics and just into our daily lives. It's also fair to say that, I might not have been able to go to college if it wasn't for Pell Grants or, for boosters that I never knew, funding scholarships that helped me pay for my college education. I did take out loans and I did pay them off, but I can't say with 100% certainty that I could have made it without the generosity of others. And then after college, I was lucky enough for my parents to take me back in for 2 years so I could save up for my first car. I was working full time, and I didn't have a car, so I was doing some public transportation as well. So there, just even just in basic society, basic society was working to make sure that I was able to succeed if I used those resources. And this whole spiel is just to say that I'm a little skeptical of people who think they made it all on their own. When we've built systems that help collectively for us all to succeed if we're able-bodied and fortunate enough to be born in a situation where we're well cared for, and in a time of just widespread preventable suffering. I feel like I feel personal responsibility and and hopefully we can develop a collective responsibility to try and take care of the people that are impacted by this, and maybe restore some of the dignity that this country has shown in the past when it comes to taking care of our own. At least that's the hope. If everyone's dealing with their cost of living being higher now, and wages haven't gone up to match that. So I totally understand that it's a tough time, which is why I recommend even just making it a small part of your budget. That way you don't end up missing it, and a few of those small contributions really add up for the people that need them. Anyway, that's some food for thought on this beautiful Sunday. It's almost Thanksgiving. Hopefully you all are making plans to hang out with friends, your family of choice, and make something delicious and celebrate the good things in life. I know I am. I make ribs myself. I find turkey to be a little boring, so I barbecue some ribs. I make one slab for myself that turns out to be about 4 or 5 meals. Then I make one for the staff in my condo building. Always good to show love for the people that are helping make your life better. Anyway, think about that. Check out the show notes for some recommended places to donate. And if you feel inclined, please like and subscribe. Or, as I always say, you can roast me. Just please hit the like button if you do. If you think my costume's stupid, or you don't agree with what I have to say, I'm always open to learning new things. So feel free to make a comment. So until next week, I hope you guys are easing into this holiday season well, and take care.